Hey, what is going on, everyone? This is Tim Odell with Odell Complete Landscape. In this part of the series, we're going to be focusing a lot on the forming and rebar. So let's just get right into it. Alright, so what we're going to be doing today is we're just moving back some sprinkler lines, because we're going to be, we got to move back about maybe 2 inches to get the form in, and the sprinklers were literally right up against the concrete, so we're just gonna move those back. We still gotta grade everything out, take this little patch of grass out, probably put a little dirt in this area because it's pretty low. We don't want to be pouring 5-inch thick concrete. Nothing wrong with that, but it gets expensive. Then we're gonna take this little area out as well so that we can start getting this all graded out. Take at least the grass off. I mean, it's already pretty deep as it is. Then we're going to be grading all of this area today. And then out here, we're doing about 6.5-inch steps. So we got these 2x8s, and we want to cut those down to 6.5 inches. And technically, 2x8s are always like 7.5. So we just need to cut 1 inch off all the way for every single one of these. So that's pretty much the plan right now. That's what we're going to be doing, and we're going to get rolling, guys. Alright guys, so what we're doing right here is we're just squaring out this patio right now, and we want about 1.5% slope for this backyard patio from the very close to the house to this lawn. And this lawn's a little high, so he needs to pretty much fix this whole lawn, how it's graded later on, and that's an issue he's probably going to be dealing with later, or going to be calling us back to deal with. But right now we're this is a cool little trick that the cameraman Omar is actually just showed us. It's a nice little way to keep pretty much your stakes out of the way when you're forming up. Just a neat little trick. So always good, sharing tips and tricks with you guys. So right now we got our laser level set on our 4-foot Milwaukee level, and we have it set to the highest point, which is the furthest closest to the wall of the house, and we went about 1.5 inches down because we got about 15 feet. And for every 8 feet, you need about an 1/8 inch slope, which gives you 1%. So that's what we're doing right now, guys.
Hey, I think the battery's there or what?
No, it's still recording. You just gotta hit the screen.
On the black screen? It goes black, yeah, it makes you think it's not recording.
Alright, so let's get
some levels.
Let's get a level.
We can go the stake over here. Come to the front side. Let's see if you can find it. It might be too far away.
It's probably lower. Oh wait, no, it's probably high. Yeah, it is. You got it. Ready? Higher, higher.
Lower.
Oh shit, it's too low. We gotta bring this lawn down.
So there, now you guys are seeing a little issue we're having. This is how high the lawn is.
Yep.
So mark it.
That's the highest point. We need to be 1.5 inches down. So this lawn is too high. So that sucks. We're gonna have to take these stakes out now, take all this lawn down, and re-put our stakes in. So now that we've dug the area out and got the stake placed exactly where we need it to be, plus brought that string line down 1.5 inches below the dirt level, since we couldn't get it down below the level because the dirt was in the way, now we can start getting our forms all set up. and we are looking for a 1.5% slope from the house to the back lawn area off this patio. That's why we had to take those stakes out, just so we can dig literally like about just 2 more inches down and get the dirt out of our way to set up those stakes and string lines. Also, we are using a laser level to make sure that both of the sides of the patios are draining and sloping at the exact same amount. And the way we did that was we just measured from the front to the back of the house, which would be the front of the patio, to the back of the patio, making sure that they are at the same exact height, both sides of this patio, with our laser level. And then we just made sure we were getting about an 1/8 inch for every foot, which is about 1 to 1.5% slope for this patio. And that's how we made sure that both sides of this patio were perfectly level with each other, draining at the exact same slope. And now we're just kind of setting up the porch patio area with it's just gonna be 1 step down off that porch. Like I was showing you guys in the first part, we demoed out most of it just so that we can get about a good 4 to 5 inch pour right over that patio, and just to reface it pretty much. So what we did to get this porch patio set up was we just measured from the window screen door back to the stakes all even. I think the patio was probably like maybe 5 feet, 4 feet, something like that. I don't remember the exact dimensions of this porch patio, but that is how we got the front face nice and straight. And then we just squared out the rest with a carpenter square, the 2 sides. So it's always nice to use metal stakes when you have to put stakes within the area you have to pour concrete, because using metal stakes is, one, they don't break when you have to pound them into the ground. A couple of our wooden stakes broke. 2, you can reuse them. And 3, when you have to take them out on the pour day, the holes are a lot smaller, and they don't break when you're trying to take them out of the concrete, which could be pretty bad in a rush situation when you got to get those stakes out and the lower half breaks inside the concrete. Big problems could happen. But we did it with wood. We got it done, no problem. And you guys will see how it ended, or how we dealt with it on the pour day, which will be the next part in this series. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, when we were finished up with that porch patio area, when we were done forming it, we did use a long 2x4 with a level on top of it to make sure that both sides were evenly level. And like I was saying earlier, the way we did the larger patio area to make sure both sides were evenly level was with the laser level. We didn't have a 2x4 long enough to do it like that, but it's the same concept. Hopefully that makes sense. So the area that we're forming up right now was a little more tricky than the rest of the formwork that we were doing, because this area had to be 3/4 of an inch lower than the rest of our concrete that we were pouring out, because later on there were going to be some tile guys coming in and putting tile down on top of our concrete. And then after that, we are going to be compacting all of the dirt and just doing a little bit of a grading, compacting, and then we actually are going to bring in some base because we are pretty low everywhere. We just picked up some base because we're pretty low in this backyard patio. Like I was saying, this concrete was pretty thick in the back that we took out, so we're having to bring a little bit more gravel back. Plus we're actually raising the height of the slab in general, because before the backyard patio was a 3 step down and we're only now making it 2. So we're eliminating about 5 inches, so we have to bring in all this base. So we just put the Yules, got a 3/4 inch rock. We're starting to get our forms put together. Haven't put this one together. Working on this curb right now to get rid of that ugly foundation. Got some of it in. Then we're gonna, after we bring in our base and compact everything, then we're gonna start working more on these little paver concrete squares that we're gonna be putting all along here. There's the porch that we demoed out because we wanted to pour it brand new, just makes it look better instead of having some new concrete with an old looking porch. Threw that in for the homeowner. There's the base that we're bringing in. We're gonna be putting base right in front of this form and on the other side, just so that we can roll in and out and we don't mess up our forms. Just pretty much what we did right here. And this was very thick around here. We had roughly about 9 inches from the top of that, from the bottom of that step down, 9 inches in total around here. So we had to bring in a lot of base. Okay, so now that we have all of our base in, it's all compacted, graded properly, now we can start setting up our rebar. And the way we set rebar up is we put everything on 2-foot centers and we roughly space them out maybe 3 to 6 inches away from any edge, meaning like the end of the forms or up against the house. And then also we are using 3/8 rebar, which is number 3 rebar. That's typical for residential. Maybe if you're doing driveways you might want to use number 4 rebar, but number 3 works as well. Maybe just get a stronger PSI in your concrete. For this concrete patio we actually used a 3000 PSI and we put fiber mesh in our concrete, just like my dad on Odell Complete Concrete. If you guys don't know about the channel, check it out. I'll have like a link in the description most likely, so you guys can always go check out the other channel. Now here's the side yard, and me and Sam are just doing some form work on this side. I'm putting together the new concrete curb to cover up that foundation wall, and he is doing the little porch step down. What I did was I used small stakes and just put 2x4s together with those. It's just so I can form up that area because it was kind of deep over there. As you can see, the one closer to us only has one 2x4 on it. Here is the end of the day, guys. We got this patio all done. Got the nice base in there, compacted 100%. Rebar is in, 2-foot center, spaced beautifully. We got the patio porch. No rebar in yet though. And we got this concrete curb. Pretty much all formed up. We just got to go around that little area.
Nicer, bro.
True. This form's almost done. We're getting there. Tomorrow will be the last day, and the next day after that, we are pouring it out. So this was probably the most annoying part of this forming process that we were doing for this job was the transition between this lower side to our concrete paver squares, because we had to go from 3/4 inch lower concrete to regular height concrete that we needed at. So we just spent a little bit of time trying to figure out the best way to transition this, since we were doing this pour all in one day. Also, if you can see the string line, that is our slope line, and that string line is set for exactly 1.5 to 2% slope from the very back of the patio to the front of the driveway. And all we needed to do was make sure that our concrete squares were just barely touching that string line at the top of our 2x4s, and we know we'd have good slope from the back to the front. So what we plan to do is to connect all the slabs. Since we're coming back the next day, we're going to be pouring a little 6-inch gap the next day. So we're going to be notching out our forms right down here, notching those out so that we can run rebar all the way down all the slabs, so they're interlocking and all connected, so nothing shifts or moves separately. Then we got our string line up for grade, so we can follow this all the way down, so we get a nice 1.5 to 2% slope all the way to the end of the driveway. Forms are, the little steps are set up and formed as well. Curb is pretty much already all set up and formed. This is how it's looking right now. Just finishing the last little pieces up right here. And then here's the little pour steps. Milwaukee speaker keeps us entertained on the job. I believe these are about 6.5 inch steps, 6.5 to 5.5. Let me double check. Yeah, 6.5. We got 6.5 inch steps, and then the last step will be the patio slab that they walk down onto. So that's all done. And then this little part right here is gonna be a little bit of a tricky pour, guys, since we're gonna be pouring the 1/2 inch lower slab with the regular slab poured at the same time. And the idea behind this, what we're gonna be doing is that's pretty much what we're gonna do right there. So we're gonna snap a line on the other side to the exact height, and we're gonna finish this side to the bottom of that 2x4, if that makes sense. And then this little square is gonna continue all the way to the front. And that's where we're at right now on the job. Keep you guys updated. So we're just gonna continue down building these 3x3 concrete pavers. And the way that we made this go by pretty fast was we just had some long 2x4s, cut it all the way till as far as we could until we got to the 2-step porch going into the house. And then we stopped right there, formed up our 3x3 concrete pavers, and then we just kind of kept that going. That's the fastest way we figured out to build these, instead of trying to make them all separate. And then we just kept double checking, making sure that we were getting proper slope following the line. Right, it's been a pretty long day, guys, but here we are and where we're at. A lot more form work involved than it was expected, really. It really took a lot of time to get these just perfect, with a perfect slope, transitioning, and then also forming for that 3/8, or actually about a 1/2 inch lower, making sure that everything's perfect. And then also doing all these notches for all this wood so that we can get rebar running down this whole slab all the way to the very front. So it just took a lot more out of us than expected, but we got it done, and it's gonna look amazing when we get it all set up and done. So pretty much right here, once you get out on the steps, we started scaling down a little bit smaller of a pathway. It's been a long day, guys. Been here for about maybe 12 hours. Sun's about to go down now, but we gotta finish up because we got pour tomorrow. Stay tuned. So we actually didn't have enough time to put the rebar in yesterday, since we were pretty tired and it was pretty late. So we just ended up putting rebar the day of the concrete pour. We just got here a couple hours early before the concrete even got there and started putting all the rebar in. But that pretty much wraps up this part of the series. Next part will be the concrete pour, so make sure you guys stay tuned for the last part, which is the best part, when you actually get to see the whole project come to life. But you can actually see how those notches are working pretty nicely, and you guys will see how those all come and play together once we actually do start to fill in those gaps with the concrete. And you'll see how the whole concrete slab will be locked together since those rebars will be exposed. So stay tuned for the next part, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying everything, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and have a good one.